Notts County Talk, welcome back to another video on the channel. As you can see this evening, we are delighted to be welcomed by Martin Paterson, Notts' new head coach. Martin, thank you so much for joining us and giving your time. We massively appreciate it.
No problem.
So we've had, I can't tell you how many fans' questions we've had on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So we've whittled them down. So I know a lot of you will be wanting your questions to be asked today. We have put some together. Some are very similar. We've had to change some of the wording of some of the questions to make it fit. But we have included as many as possible. So we'll try and put those questions to Martin in a second. And with the season, 11 days away, 10 days away now, it's a very, very exciting time. So subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date with everything this season. So Martin, we're going to kick off with 10 quick-fire questions. We don't really want to think too much about it, just your sort of instinct for your answer. And George is going to kick us off with the first 5.
Right then, number 1, best mate in football.
Unbelievable start. Probably Michael Duff.
Okay. Do you have a favourite comedian?
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais, yeah, good one. Best one-liner?
Probably off The Office, but I don't know if I can repeat.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'll leave that one then. Any superstitions from your playing days?
Oh dear, don't start. I've got hundreds of superstitions. Ridiculous.
Give us one.
I'll give you an example. We beat Vale in a friendly the other day, so I kept a raincoat that I wore.
Right.
So it's raining now. I wear that raincoat every day.
Right. Okay. And the last one for me then. Assuming that you've seen the home kit, which is your favourite from the home and away kit from this season?
Oh, away kit.
Okay.
Northern
I'm a big
Ireland.
fan, to be fair. I do like the away kit.
Away kit's good. It gives me Werder Bremen vibes, the German club. But yeah,
I
home
like,
kit's...
I like the home kit as well. Let's not upset anyone. I like the home kit as well.
On sale Friday, isn't it? So for me then, first question, it's kind of split into 2 parts, is who do you think the best striker in the world is currently? Obviously, you were a striker yourself.
Me. Haaland. I don't think you can mess with those numbers.
And what about of all time? Who's your favourite striker of all time?
Oh.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, this is a really tough question. All time. Well, I'll say my favourite, Alan Shearer.
Yeah, solid shout. Next one, can you give us and Notts fans a series to watch on Netflix, Prime, whatever it might be?
Yellowstone.
Great. I literally finished that about 3 weeks ago. Great show. Apart from, this is a tricky question, apart from obviously finishing and the ability to put the ball in the net, what is the most important attribute from a striker?
Apart from finishing?
Yeah.
Movement.
Yeah, good shout. What's your biggest achievement in football?
Keeping Burton Albion safe in League One.
Did you have a playoff win in 2009 as well?
Yeah, but getting Burton safe in League One was a lot harder.
Yeah, that was harder. And finally, from us for the quick 5 questions, how would you describe your coaching style in 3 words?
Honest, intense, detailed.
Brilliant.
Love that.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we've got questions in from fans all up and down the country. Me and Tom have got a question each that we'd like to ask you before we go into that. My question is, what's the biggest learning curve you've had as a player and as a manager?
The biggest learning curve I think in football is understanding that the emotion. I talk about emotional control a lot. It's not getting too low and certainly not getting too high. And a lot of people think managers or head coaches, as I am, that we celebrate out of, or we enjoy winning out of ego, or most of it's relief. Most of it's you put so much into the week that if you come out with a positive result, you're relieved. You're just like, thank God. But it shouldn't be either way too big of a swing. And that's one thing I learned, and one thing that I'm going to really practice moving forward. That if we win, good. If we lose, yeah, really disappointed. It kills me. But pick the bones out of it and get better and keep moving forward.
Mm. Do you think that's just to go off George's question? Do you think that was such a steep learning curve because of obviously when you took over at Burton, it was such a high pressure situation midway through a season, trying to keep a team up?
Possibly. But regardless of how you learn it, again, regardless of the situations you've been in, mistakes you've made, some of the positive things that I did, the important thing is that you collaborate it, you debrief it, get better, you take it into Notts County. And that's the only thing that matters right about now.
My question then is, how do you manage personalities? Obviously, you can have squads 20, 25 players in size, and you've got some players that respond differently to other things. How much of a challenge is that? Is that something you learned from other managers whilst you were a player? Because I can imagine, from my point of view, that must be a bit of a nightmare.
Have you ever met Barry Cotter?
I haven't, no.
Well, you'll soon see. You've got to embrace it. Everyone's different. We don't want choir boys. We don't want, um, everyone to be the same, robots. In fact, I want the opposite. I want people to express themselves, play with a bit of fun and a little bit of, I say malice, but I don't mean a vicious intent, but with real aggression to go and win for the football club. And they can't be saints. Now, we want them respectful and treat people right around the club that have been here for many years, of course. But I embrace characters. I've got no qualms. I can deal with them because I'm consistent in my behaviours as well. So, if they are being a little bit out of line, you tell them. But you want them to have fun and have personality on the pitch. So then you can't tell them off it to be any other way. People have got to be themselves, me included. I've learned a lot from my lessons in head coach roles. In being a coach for nearly 11 years now, can't go wrong. You just tell people the truth and what you think. And if it's you, it's you.
Yeah, fair enough. Great answer. Thank you. Right, we're going on to our fans' questions then. Now, as I've already said for people watching, we had loads of questions. There's impossible to fit them all in. We'd have been here, a couple of hours. So we're going to kick off, and we're going to put the fans' questions to you then, Martin.
Right, Ian Moslin from Facebook says, do you have any memories or stories of playing Notts during your playing career?
No, I don't believe I played against Notts County. But when I was at Inter Miami, I did come and scout a game, I believe in the National League. We didn't get the player. We didn't get the player, but I'd certainly take him now.
Was it a Notts player?
No names. No names.
No. I can think of a few good players in the National League that we've had. So you say you don't have any memories of playing Notts.
No, I don't believe I played.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite ground you ever played at?
Well, Wembley. Wembley was fantastic. Hillsborough, because I always scored there. So probably Wembley #1 and Hillsborough, just because I wanted to get it in that I scored.
Yeah.
And there wasn't many grounds that I could say I scored consistently at, but Hillsborough was one of them.
Yeah. Our second question is from Lucas on X. It says, what have you loved the most since joining the club?
Great question. God, there's a few. Can I give two?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one, the drive. It's clear. There's a drive here, which is phenomenal. And then two, it kind of leads to my first point. People around the club that have been here for a long time, it matters to them. It matters. It really does. And I see it every day. People that work for the club are fans. They can't hide it. Um, it matters. So two things. I love the drive of the football club, where it wants to go. Supporters, owners, people involved. And then the day-to-day staff, the people that are in and around it, that have been here a long time, how much it matters to them. And they've made me so welcome.
Yeah. We
Is there anything? Sorry, Tom. I want to expand on that one. Is there anything that coming into Notts has took you by surprise, like in a positive way?
No, no, it hasn't. I knew how big of a football club this was. That's why I fought so hard to get the opportunity. So nothing caught me by surprise. But it just heightens how the responsibility sits to do well for the group and the supporters.
Yeah, we as fans, and we've interviewed a few players on here as well as other managers talk about a feeling at Notts of sort of I don't know. There's something building, or it's got a lot of the word we've heard a lot is potential. Do you feel the same thing? I know you've been in here a short time, but do you feel that this club has big potential?
Yes, yeah. In short, yeah, it does. But I don't think you can also, when people say potential, I think there's a lot of good things happening now here, and what it has achieved. But then it's making sure that you don't focus too much on that potential lens. I mean, the most important thing is the here and now and the next 3 or 4 months, and get that right, and then we can start talking about the potential. And it is a big potential, for sure. But my job and the players' job is to make sure that we earn the trust of the support in the first few months, um, and then go from there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely does.
Yeah, next question is from Ben, who's a channel regular. Were you shocked or surprised at the new structure at Notts when it was revealed to you?
No, it's really clear when you're inside that structure. I think what happens with supporters is probably no one sits here and goes, "Well, it looks like this,"
Mm.
um, and it's really clear. There's the owners, obviously, that control pretty much most matters of the footballing and the business. There's a head of football that's in charge of recruitment, and then I sit in the middle of it all with my opinion on the footballing matters, and we work together to get the best players we can. To pick the right characters, which is more important at times to the football club, and then I get to work in my field, which is the grass and the training and the team, and we bring it together after to discuss: was it the right decision to do A and B and C? Is it the right team to start that game? And it's the same thing that's happened for many years. Chairmen who own football clubs generally ask the manager, "Well, what was that today? That was rubbish. Why did you pick him? Why did you play him?" Just a bit more professionalised and a little bit more clear in terms of how we do it. Very, very professional, with respect, but with one main goal: to try and get Notts County better.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting you put it that way, because from fans on the outside, you say it's basically something that's gone on anyway, but this is more professional. That's can be a surprise to some fans because we just see it as a completely new venture, but you make it sound like it's not really that different to what happens. So yeah, very very interesting, um, that point of view. Our next question then is: how do you and assistant coach Andy Edwards complement and contrast each other?
Good question. Well, we're very different in characters, I believe, um, and I think that's excellent. Um, he is someone that has worked for a long time with some of the top talents in the world and country at the FA, and his coaching is a certain style, and my coaching is a certain style. So it's one of just complete honesty. He sees things a certain way. He tells me. I factor it in, think about it, and we've come to a collective um, decision. Now, yes, I do make the decisions on the team, but I'm not stupid enough to think that I'm always right. So I'm really leaning upon Andy and Sam as well, who's new onto the into the coaching, because he brings a freshness and new ideas to it, which is great. So we complement each other by being really respectful and understanding that we sit around a circular table in my staff room. I don't sit at one end. We sit around a round table, and we're just all there to try and make the players better. And it's as simple as that.
Just to expand a little bit there, I know you touched on Sam Slocum. Just to expand a little bit further, how have you found working with him? Obviously, it's only been a brief amount of time, but could you give us a bit of insight of how you found it working with him? Because he's sort of transitioning into that role, isn't he?
He is, but he started off ever so well. Been really pleased. Um, Me and my staff have hit it off tremendously well. But what I like is they both got opinions and they voice them. That's important and it's valued. And one of my first um, meetings with all the staff is that you are all valued. You will have airtime to explain what you think, how you see things, and I'll always sit down and think about it because I can't do it alone. I don't ever think I can do it alone. And that's one of the lessons learned from previous mistakes. You have to have a team that's got strong opinions and are with you 100% all the way. And I've got that and I value them. And in moments, I don't go the way they may be thinking. And sometimes I do rethink things and go, you know what? Really good point, that. And it's not about me, it's not about them, it's about the players. It's about making sure they're happy on the field and executing.
Um, as the fact that Sam has been at this club for a long time and knows a lot of the players, did that make your transition in very easy?
It's helped a lot, yeah. Free information, I call it. What works well, what do we do well, what don't we do so well. It's been brilliant. But again, he's brought a freshness to it as well. He's trying new things, and we're pushing the stick every day.
Yeah, brilliant. One more thing before we move on to the next question. You mentioned in the first interview that was posted on the Notts website just after you'd signed. You talked about the opportunity to have a pre-season because when you went in at Burton, which I've already spoken about, it was mid-season. I think you said there was like a loan window going on. It was crazy. How good has it been to be able to have probably what is now a month with this squad and still a week and a half to go?
It's been good. It's been like gold dust for coaches, because there's been tests laid down for the players physically, mentally, as well, and they've come through. On a tactical standpoint, I've tested them in some really tough environments. I can see what they can do and what they can't do, and it's just as important, to be honest, to go what they can't do. And I think art of coaching is assessing what they're good at and having the simplicity and the humbleness to go, right, okay, that's what we're good at. Let's perfect it then, we can, and move forward. But adding the small bits that you think that they need improving, adding that to them as well in terms of the small marginal gains.
Brilliant.
Moving on then, Deck from X. How much did your previous role as head coach at Burton and assistant to Michael Duff make you realise how important a strong team mentality and togetherness is?
It's probably more important than all the fancy things and all the real intricate things everyone wants to talk about these days. The football, the tactics, so important. Of course, we all know that you've got to get it right. You've got to, but you need a group that are fighting and playing hard for Notts County every day, not every week, every day. Coming to training to get better. that understand what it's like to play for a big football club, but the honour of having the best job in the world. And being able to go out at Meadow Lane on that grass, the pitch. I mean, I walked past it on the phone, and I was just like, wow, I'd love a kickabout on there, but my hamstrings wouldn't last. So they've got to understand how lucky they are, and I'm under no illusions what culture and doing the right things as a group mean to being successful. And we're well on our way of putting things in place, team bonding, meetings. We've put some really good stuff into the players, and I'm seeing early signs of it coming to fruition as well.
The game against Kaiserslautern, where we were 3 down early on, obviously wouldn't have been the plan. And then we get the red card. I think a lot of people thought, well, that second 45 is now a write-off, and it's just a case of Kaiserslautern, doing what they want. Did you learn a lot from that second half? Already 3 down to 10 men.
I learned a lot from the first 10 minutes because you've got to look it in its eye and debrief it and coach. It's not how you start football games, but I was absolutely livid. But we stabilised well within the game. I thought they were still the better team, mind, and there's no shame in that. It was early days for us, bit of a mixed team because we're waiting for people to come in, and we also had to even out the minutes from the Darmstadt game to Kaiserslautern, so we probably didn't have the strongest possible lineup, but that's relevant. When you play for Notts County, you start the game in a professional manner. But then you play with 10 men and you shouldn't concede. We conceded a set play, which again, I was absolutely livid with. And the players copped it for that as well. But it's okay to then point out the positives that they held and looked comfortable defensively against a really good Kaiserslautern team at the level. But these tests and these tribulations, you've got to face them. And you've got to be honest with it as well and not brush them under the carpet and use excuses. Pre-season game is a game for me. When they're on the Notts County shirt, I expect them to compete to win. Will we always win? No. Make peace with that now. We're not always going to win. But the manner in which we approach the games is key. And that's the only real time I get frustrated with the group. But bar that 10 minutes, I believe we've had a good pre-season.
Final question we've got, and then we're just going to break into sort of another section, and it's based on what we've just kind of spoken about, really. But were you surprised by the support in Germany? Obviously, a lot of fans travelled.
Yeah, but I know that it's massively the travelling number. I mean, Steve Cottrell called me when I got the job, and he went, "Wait till you see how the supporters back you, travelling numbers," and I was like, "Brilliant." I expected some fans, but the amount of fans that travelled to Germany for pre-season for the time of year, and they probably got work, phenomenal. Really, really taken back by it. Was surprised, not in a bad way, by the way. Surprised by like, wow, how can they possibly do this? Because I think we all know things ain't getting cheaper, and it's
Yeah.
tough for everybody. So that's why players went over and showed their appreciation. I would have liked to have won every game for them, that's for sure. Well, that's my job to go and better. But no, surprised, but very thankful, and let's get this team playing in the right way.
Yeah, we'd have loved to have been there, wouldn't we, George? But work had other ideas, so we couldn't have been there. Right, we're going to just take a quick break from the fans' question. We've got a few more to ask you after, Martin. But we're going to go into a quick this or that section. So we're going to give you two options, and your first instinct, we want your answer. So just try and give that first instinct. And George is going to kick us off.
Yeah, I'll kick us off. Winning as a player or winning as a manager? Or head coach?
Head coach.
I think I know the answer to this next one. Ability or mentality?
Ooh. Depends on position.
Interesting.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Agreed on that one. Home or away games?
Home.
Okay, and iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Next one then. Would you rather win the Champions League or the World Cup?
That can't be a serious question.
We've asked everyone so far. The answer's always been World Cup.
Yeah, has anyone ever said Champions League?
No. We're going to see if you were the
Yeah.
first. World Cup.
No, World Cup all day long.
How many Champions Leagues would it take to choose Champions League? Or if we offered you 5 Champions Leagues or a World Cup? Still World Cup.
Okay, no, World Cup.
Still World Cup. Fair enough. End of a difficult season. Are you going on a beach holiday or to sit around a pool, or are you going to do some exploring in a city?
Neither. I'm going home to sleep, but I don't like the beach.
Not
City. That would be the wife's choice. That wouldn't be mine.
Do you prefer, if it can't be a 3 o'clock kickoff, do you prefer lunchtime or an evening kickoff?
Lunchtime.
Yeah, I think a few have said that on here. Would you prefer in a training session gym work, or do you prefer quite a lot of intense running?
That's as bad as the World Cup and Champions League. Tense running.
Over gym work. Fair enough.
100%.
Would you rather your team score a 30-yard screamer or a clever set-piece routine? Let's say it's 90th minute to win a game.
30-yard screamer.
Yeah, 30-yard screamer. Right, we're going to go into our last few questions then. So George will kick us off with this first one. And these are, again, all from the fans.
Yeah, this one's from SDB. How confident are you that the squad is currently ready to compete for promotion at this stage of pre-season?
So
I'm quietly confident, really quietly confident. And I always say that because football owes you nothing. I think sometimes people talk about promotion and, don't understand just how tough it is. And a lot of things have got to go right. But I think in a couple more weeks we'll be even more confident. But again, there's no promises with that. I know how hard it's going to be. I know that there's going to be bumps along the way, but I'm quietly confident we're building a squad, and aligned to build a squad as well. That's the important thing. We're all aligned on the decisions to compete for promotion, and I think that's me being honest as well. I wouldn't just say it if I didn't believe it.
Next question is from Jack on X. Says, what do you think it takes to win promotion from League Two?
Consistent performance. It's as simple as that. Consistent in your behaviours every day, the way that you come to work, consistent in your performances. It's key.
Next one then, Record Breakers asks, as a manager, head coach, what do you look for in a striker?
Hunger. Personally, I think when I first look at a striker and watch him, I want to see how badly he wants to score goals. And I almost want him to be so hungry, so active to score goals that it becomes really obvious that he's the right one.
There's a lot of talk about strikers that miss quite a few chances. But then there's obviously the argument back that, well, they've got to be in those positions to have those. How do you feel? And I don't know how much you look at things like expected goals, XG, and things like that.
Leave all the XG stuff for greater minds than me. I look at conversion rate.
Yeah, fair enough. Next question is from Tony Wood. Do you expect any more additions to the squad, and how much input do you have on these? I know you briefly spoke about this earlier, but this was a question very much requested.
Sorry, I'm just getting a text message from WhatsApp in my ear. Yes, I expect additions, and I'm very much part of the collaborative effort to bring them in. Yes, so, yep.
2 questions to go.
Richard asks, how will you ensure we are not a nice team to play against?
That's what the last month has been for. There's many ways of not being nice as well. People think that being nice is running around and you know, trying to smash people. That's not my style. We compete, we press well, we compete and take the ball. But also, if you think about it another way, if people can't get the ball and we're moving it ever so well, and we keep hurting people with passing and then movement in behind and stretching them, and have 2 ways of playing, that's not nice either. So we're working on that. And can you ensure it? Possibly. It takes a little bit of time to build it, but I believe I'm seeing signs already of us having a different feel to us in moments.
Brilliant. And our final question to wrap it up, and we appreciate your time, Martin, is Natalie from Instagram says, we start away from home against Newport, but how much are you looking forward to your first league game at Meadow Lane against Salford?
I'm looking to both games, of course. Taking my first game at Meadow Lane will be special. But I'll be honest with you, an insight into me, my only focus is Newport. I've not even thought about Salford yet. So my entire focus of everything I do when I wake up is Newport away.
Yeah, fantastic. I think a lot of those questions, we had a few of those questions, is just fans are desperate to get back to Meadow Lane, which we will this weekend against Cardiff, obviously in the last friendly. But Martin, thank you for taking the time to answer fans' questions. We had loads, as I've already said, so really appreciate that. Good luck for the rest of the season, and yeah, thank you so much for joining us on this evening.
Thomas, George, thanks for your time. Appreciate you.